Earth Science with Mrs. Miller. We've been focusing on climate interactions, and today we're going to be focusing on weather. So, weather isn't just about small talk. All of these professionals rely on the weather. Now, weather refers to the status of the atmosphere at a specific time and place. It describes conditions such as air pressure, wind, temperature, and the amount of moisture in the air. It is a result of heat from the sun and Earth's air and water. Now, air temperature affects your daily activities. We know we wouldn't go swimming unless you want to be part of the Polar Bear Club in the winter. And you wouldn't exactly dress in a snowsuit during the summer. Now, air temperature is a reflection of the air molecules moving randomly. Now, air molecules move even when there's no wind. And temperature is simply the measurement of the average movement of those molecules. Now, wind is caused by air molecules moving in a specific direction. And the sun is an important part of this equation. Now, the sun warms air molecules, causing a greater movement and expansion of these molecules. Now, the warm air has less pressure and rises while cooler air sinks. This creates a convection current and cycles air molecules. Now, we can measure wind in several ways. A wind vane or a weather vane will actually point in the direction that wind is coming from, while a wind sock will catch the wind and point in the direction that wind is going to. Now, there's a special thing called an anemometer. Anemometers actually spin with the speed of the wind. The faster it goes, the faster the wind. Now, humidity. Humidity is basically the amount of water vapor present in the air and at any given time. Relative humidity is what we're usually worried about, and this is a measure of the amount of water vapor present in the air compared to the amount needed for saturation at a specific temperature. This is usually represented as like a percentage. Now, what we actually think about is the dew point. That's the temperature at which the air is saturated and condensation forms. Now, we know this because we can wake up in the morning and see dew on the ground or on our cars. Now, the more water vapor is present generally in warm air than cool air. And the formation of water vapor on an object from the air is called condensation. Now, in your listening check journal, you need to go to page 463 in your book and do the math skills activity. Now, clouds are an important part of weather. Clouds are usually classified mainly by shape and by height. Shapes can be stratus, as shown in this sort of plowed field type of look, cumulus, which are those big, puffy, cottony ones that we like, and the cirrus, those wispy ones, sometimes known as mare's tails. Now, clouds form as warm air is forced upward, expands, and cools. When the relative humidity reaches that saturation point that we talked about, water vapor condenses into tiny droplets around dust and salt particles. Now, billions of these together form a cloud. Now, cloud shape varies with temperature, pressure, and the amount of water vapor within the atmosphere. Stratus clouds are also usually at very low altitudes and indicative of fair weather or rain and snow. Now, if they're really low enough, they can form fog. Cumulus clouds, the big puffy ones, sometimes have a flat basis and they can tower up to great heights. Now, this usually means that there's fair weather, or if they're dark, they're going to be thunderstorms. Now, those fibrous ones, those cirrus ones, can be curly and they're really high up in the atmosphere, sort of like feathers. And they're actually made of ice crystals, and they're usually indicative of a weather change. Now, the different heights are designated by a prefix. Cirro meaning high, alto meaning mid-level, and strato meaning low level. Now, we can combine these words with the height and the shape to create different types of clouds. Cirrostratus clouds are high clouds indicating fair weather. So you can put like a stratocirrus, stratocumulus, or we can put cirrocumulus or cirrostratus as well, or altocumulus. Now, precipitation in the form of rain or snow comes from what we call a nimbus cloud. Now, in Latin, nimbus means dark rain cloud. So cumulonimbus is a thundercloud, and nimbostratus, when it's way high, when it's low in the ground, is actually going to bring that long, steady rain or snowfall. Now, the different types of precipitation, we obviously know rain, snow, but sleet or freezing rain and hail are also types of precipitation. Precipitation only means water falling from clouds. Now, raindrops can be different sizes, and we know this. It depends on the strength of the updraft. The more updraft you have, the larger the droplet. Now, drier air will evaporate rain before it even hits the ground, so we may never even see it rain, although it may be raining. And hail can be accumulated in cumulonimbus. It's just very lumps of ice surrounded and freezing up in the atmosphere. Listening check number 1. Be sure to record the answers in your journal. When does water vapor condense in air? What is the difference between relative humidity and humidity? How do clouds form, and how does precipitation occur, and what determines the type of precipitation? Bring your questions to class, and we'll see you next time.